time we will start in English for the first time. I'm sure that you can all manage. You okay, Leo?
How long do you go normally?
50 minutes. 50 minutes.
50?
Yeah, 50. 50.
50. 50 is better, but 50 is okay. Oh.
Sit with us, or you want to stand? Or...
No, I'm going to sit here.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1, and you can start.
We gathered here today.
No comments from the peanut gallery.
איפה המים שלי נעלמו? מוש, איפה המים שלי נעלמו? Okay, we.
You can interact, but he's mic'd up. I think he's mic'd. I'll see how we go. Okay. But if you want to interact, no problems. I won't film you unless you want me to. You want me to film you?
As you said,
he's more attractive.
Yeah.
No, Avi, you take the prize, mate.
Yeah. He's the handsome.
The focus, רבנו ומורנו. But you know what they say, don't look at the cover, only in the inside.
In the Brenner. You'll
burn.
The Hayuli. The Hiuli. Okay, we will start.
Wait, tell me you're going to start.
Okay, so let's start the class. So we gathered here to...
Later. I haven't pressed play yet. You have to give me a chance to press play. Okay. I'm going to count you down. Once we do that, then we'll be running.
Lights, camera.
Action. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everyone. We gathered here today as a continuation to our meeting from last week that we dealt with the last Parashat Hashavua of Toldot. And we talked about Yaakov and Esav, this duality in nature. There are two types of people. The people who wants, like Esav, the will to receive to itself by consuming 200,000 volts into them without having the vessel to contain the lights, and then everything is going away, and then all of the vitality that they wanted is evaporating, and then they're staying what we called in Esav, ayef. Ayef means exhausted. And we have the wisdom of the Jews, which is the Jacob way, which is just innocent in the tent. He's just walking on the malchut, on the kingdom, on the manifestation of the lower part of the tree, on the 10%. I'm getting a little bit of light that my vessel can contain, which means every time I'm doing a walk in front of the reality, like let's say that there is a hardship coming towards me, I need to find a balance, to be Jacob, to be the balance. All of the code in the Torah, it's words that telling us how to behave in the ongoing life, how to fix our relationship with our wives, how to fix our relationship with our immediate family, with our community, with our greater community, and with all human beings. Now, in order to be balanced, we need to understand the duality between Jacob and Esav in us. And now we are going into the 7th parasha of Genesis. 7 considered to be the most delighted, Shvi'in Chavivin. Now, in 7, it's also the latest Sephirah of the Malchut, so it's a manifestation of everything. If we will understand the glimpse, the essence of the beginning of Vayetze, the crown, the main theme of what is hidden behind the code of the words of Vayetze, we will basically understand the Torah in the Malchut level, and this is the Tikkun. Malchut Atzilut, the kingdom, the here and now, the high and the low one understand. So I'm inviting you, let's read the code, and when I'm talking on Vayetze and this parasha, we're talking about the letter of Jacob. So the letter of Jacob is basically the 10 Sefirot. And it's not just this, it's actually the 10 Sefirot in a 4 level, because we're talking here on 4 worlds that connect between us down here on the here and now to the higher world. So if we are imagining this letter on a level of the 10 Sefirot itself, so we have basically one world of Asiya, which is here, above it Yetzirah, another 10, and then we have a tower of another 10, which is Yetzirah, lo Yetzirah, Bria, and then we have Atzilut, and then we have even Adam Kadmon. But this concept of the 10 Sefirot, let's dive in and read what does it mean to decode the level of the parasha according to the inner understanding of the Sod and the Pshat. The Pshat is how we're reading it on the simplicity level, and the Sod, the secret, is how we are interpreting it in a high level conception based on the Rashbi and Arav Ashlag and Ari concept. So we try to dive in. Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva. And Yaakov left Be'er Sheva and he went Harana. Vayelech Harana. So when we are quoting it, we know that Yaakov is the Jewish neshama, is the middle path, is the Jewish walker that walk in Hashem ways. And where is going? He's going from Be'er Sheva, from the well of 7. So we know that Be'er, it's a foundation of life, of inspiration, of Or HaGanuz, of the higher worlds. And Sheva is the kingdom of the Malchut Atzilut, from the higher world. So he's coming from high. The Jewish neshama is coming from heaven, under the chair of God. And when it's born, it's considered to be Vayelech Harana. And the neshama is going here to the manifestation, kingdom world of manifestation, Olam HaAsiyah, and it's dealing with the charon, the kas, the anger, the hardship of this life. Most of the life, the 7 decades, 8 decades that we are spending here, are dwelt with a lot of agony. So where we are going from Be'er Sheva, from the Gan Eden, from heaven, from paradise, to this world, which is basically sounds like hell, Harana. Who wants to live in Harana? It's not just anger, it's angrina, Harana. It's a big thing. Now, Vayivga b'makom vayelin sham ki ba hashemesh. Now, immediately we are entering into the most beautiful story in the Torah, the story about Jacob and the angels in the letter. What is the message there? So he had the revelation, and he took all the stones, heaven in Hebrew, it's from the word avana, leavin, to see on the domem, on the object, and to see behind the object, to see the insights. So he's gathering all the insights, and he's coming and he's seeing the angels of God walking up and down the ladder. And here, I'm a little bit breaking the subject, and I'm telling a story that maybe can explain what does it mean to climb a ladder up and down. There is a drush that's saying that the angels looked at the origin, at the sky, how Jacob looked like in his icon at the higher worlds, and they moved and saw him how he's looking down on this earth, and they saw that he fulfilled his potential fully. The image up and the image down is equal 100%. So what Jacob succeeded to do in his way of finding the balance, of growing from Esav, which is the will to receive, taking the righteous on being the firstborn, the advice of the Jew, just don't drag or chokhmah, a wisdom of light, more than your vessel, than your kli can contain and fix. So all what you do, you don't need to be bothered to consume 200,000 of lights on the left side of receiving, like Esau. What you need to be bothered is just to take a packet and to make sure that you are fixing it each time, packet after packet, and then you are accumulating a big amount in the end. So it's not, in the Esau world, we want high vitality, we want all the light in a one go. It doesn't work. When you're going to school, you have Kita Aleph, you have grade 2, grade 3, you need to go through a process. That's life. Life is the process of going through the agony of learning from failing and succeeding, failing and succeeding. If you didn't go through the rabbit hole, you can't make a real decision with your own heart. So I'm still read. So the story was, when they saw the figure, from this, one of the rabbis taught that those angels are watching each one of us in every moment of our life to see if our icon is equal to the icon of us in the higher worlds. They're checking when they sing that the icon is different.
What do you mean by icon?
Icon is like the image. You have an image. Let's say that in your most perfected potential in the higher worlds, when you are already perfect, Moti has a particular look. And there is a different look on this planet, on this earth, a different haircut, okay? Now, if the angels sing the lack of authenticity, lack of genie, like you're not who you're supposed to be, so what they can give you, what is the best gift that they can give you? The inspiration / the whip to shake you to grow into your potential. Now, this message can be hard, this message can be nice. Usually it's 100% hard. Why? Because you need to be shaken. You need to shake. You need to, the stir.
So give you a challenge.
Exactly, review and challenge. Now, so the story goes on, and then you understand that he's saying, and Jacob woke up from his sleep, and he said, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, there is a God in this place, v'anochi lo yadati, and I didn't know, vayar vayomer, and he saw, and he said, Ma nora hamakom hazeh, what is this place? En ze im bet Elohim b'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. This is the house of God, and this is the gate to the sky. Very interesting. Now, when I'm looking on this verse, which is the 7th verse in the 7 Parashat Vayetche is the 7th Parashat, and Vayikatz Yaakov, when Jacob woke up from his dream, when we are waking up from our dreams, in the first 2-3 seconds, we still have a vivid story of the entire concept as a whole. If we can't put the efforts to capture it in our memory, if we are not moving it from the fast memory to the fixed memory, the dream will go away. But we still have a second to capture it. Now, when Jacob was in this moment that he saw the dream, and he saw not just the dream, he saw like a lot of messages through the dream, a full letter. The vessels how to connect to divinity. And what was the message? He was surprised that even in this place there is God, and I didn't know. So he expanded his horizon to understand that before he imagined that in this place there isn't God, but then he discovered that not just that this place is, how does he say it? Not just that this place is like Manorah. It's also the house of God, and this is the gate to the sky. So his revelation was in a scan. I scanned this before I came to this encounter. I scanned the situation. There was no God in the picture. After I realized something new from the dream, the vision that on the letter that I saw, now I understand that God present in places that I never imagined that there is. And also, this is God, all about God. It's in the places that God you think is not there. So if I'm taking this concept and I'm moving it into you fighting with your wife, what will we think? That God is not in this place. But what Jacob is telling us, that this is your opportunity now to hold your horses and to understand that every argument with your CEO, every argument with your wife, every weird person, every beggar on the street, you are Jacob, and you have Yaakov and Esav inside of you, and you have a battle of plus and minus. You have like duality. It's always a conflict. And how you're solving this conflict? The conflict needs to lead you to reunion, love, peace, harmony, rather than dispute, conflict, fights, agony, misery. Now, let's assume that I'm putting all the easy people aside for a second. I'm staying just with the hard people. You all know this. Now, how do we deal with hard people? How we can see that the walk with them, the interaction with them, this is the house to the sky, this is the gate to the sky, this is exactly the place where you're starting to walk. When you're going to a gym, you can choose to have a resistance 30% from your power. You can choose 60% of your power. It depends on your agility. Now, as more as you push more, you're in a better responsive capacity. Exactly like this is the walk with this emotional challenge of walking with the hardship. So in the beginning, God giving you easy training. But if you need, if the angels seeing the gap between your higher potential to your lower potential, angel is a messenger from God. So where is God? Is giving you a shake that you think in the beginning from a babyish perspective that was an awful for you. That was a punch in your ego. You didn't want this find. You didn't want this encounter. But when you're looking on it from someone that understands that he's walking in the field of the Creator, and God is appearing in the tiny details, and there is no place where God is not there. Like I think Rabbi from Kotsk said it Where is God? Where do you think God is? This is where you're letting him in. So it's more as you're growing, the divinity is not leaving you. You're always with it. It's always in front of your eyes.
So usually people find God or find meaning, as you said, after a challenge or the post-trauma or something tough that they went through. This dream is positive. It's not, so waking up from a nice dream of angels going up and down and finding God, usually you find them after a challenge, right? So
You're asking where's the challenge?
the dream is a good dream. Is a dream where everything is great.
Look, the dream entails a lot of more other details. Just as an example, they said in the Midrash that the order of the angels who climbed on the ladders was a sign for a vision for the future, the accurate number of how many, which kingdom will rule the world until Mashiach in 2,000 years from now, or 3,000 years from now, and how many years each one of them will cater in his job. So we know, for example, that it's accurate by history. The Midrash is saying that the third king will be Greece, and he will rule 180 years, and according to history, 180 years. And this is a symbol for 180, it's actually 18, which is Chai in Hebrew, which is related to the Esod, and they're related to Olam Yetzirah, and this is related to Joseph, and it's related to his anti-counter, which is the king of Yavan, the Greece king, which is the same numeric value as Joseph, 156. Melech Yavan, Yosef. It's all coming into a oneness of a lot of information. And also that it's telling us that the last king, Edom, will last almost forever, for 2,000 years and even more. And you will be hopeless when they will finish their job, this fourth evil kingdom. When? It will not be clear. And then they will crash in one go. They will get some kind of a hit in their legs, in their foundations, and all of their phony hybrid system will evaporate. It's written in Zechariah. Today is Dalet Kislev. Zechariah the prophet wrote the prophet for Dalet Kislev. And when we're looking on the word Kislev, what is in High Hebrew? It's about hope. Tikva. Petach Tikva. Tikva. Kislev, it's coming from the word Kisla. Now, when we're looking on the lower bone of the structure of the bones of a human being, the bone when we are sitting on, this big bone that we are sitting on, called Kessel. How come you write Kessel? But Kessel, it's something that related to foundation. Menorah. Menorah had a menorah, but underneath there was a foundation, right? A big base. The big base of the body, like the menorah, like the tree of life. The revelation that Jacob, and here I'm taking the class to the next level that I didn't tell last year. New things that I learned on Vayetze. What did he saw there? Jacob, what was this vision? So God showed him, when he was asleep, the structure of the bones of the human being, how it is related to the revelation of the organus, of the wisdom of the divinity itself in the bones. What is a bone in Hebrew? It's essence. The essence of the matter. It's in the tree of life, it's against the sephirah of wisdom. The wisdom in the essence is in the bones. Look at the bones and understand the divinity, understand God. We're looking at the bones. What do we see? In our foot, which is if we are looking on the whole body is a 10 sephirot, like this is our whole body, like the Da Vinci one, the person that stand like this. So we are saying that the lowest sephirah is the Akev Esav, the heel of Esav, the Achilles, the Malchut, the kingdom, 10%. 10% of the body is in the foot. Now, how many bones are in the foot? 26. 26 is the numeric value of Yud Hey Vav Hey, which is Jehovah, the name of the Lord. So the Malchut is Adonai, 26. And then I'm looking on again on the kessel bone, when we sit on it. It's hope. What is the hope of a person? The hope of a person is to do a middle path and to create the next generation of middle path, to have fruits. What is a real fruit? A son. The real fruit is, son is Ben is understanding. But your actual son, the manifestation, the fruit itself, is a reflection of your own insights as to the next level. You created in your own form. Your next level of understanding is in your son. He has something from you, and a little bit is that's more for the continuation. That's how God created us. Now Jacob, what he wants to establish 12 tribes to manifest his all colors into the 12 tribes of Israel. Now what is Israel? Israel is Yashar El, straight to God. People which their hearts, they found the middle path all the time to judge between the will to receive to itself like Esau, against the will to bestow like Jacob, the right hand. And in all of this battle between them, they're finding the middle center, the internal flame. You see, a flame, when it's not moving by the wind, even though it's like a livable creature almost, Atzilut, it's always like going up to the root, is keeping straight. Now what happened when a fire is coming? The flame starting to dance. But what happened when you don't let this flame to dance? You're putting some kind of a cover, resistance, reassessment, rechecking, reevaluating the situation. Why this man is shouting at the moment at me? What do I need to do? How do I need to be much more evolved, apparently, than I thought yesterday? Yesterday I thought there is no God in this place. Today I understand that the work that God is asking from me, it's here in this place exactly. Now, here and now. And I need to work with this comment or work with this even success. It doesn't need to be negative all the time. It can be a lot of success. If you are doing a middle path work of making a reunion and harmony between people, like 7, it's coming 7 times bigger at you. That's the hidden truth there. So now I'm taking it to the next level. What did he saw there? The structure of the bones. If you're taking the human body bones and you're putting it in 3D software and you're starting like to tilt it to the side. If I'm tilting it, that I'm looking at the bones from under the legs to the front, and it's like an X-ray, so I can see all the structure and all the bones together. I'm looking for the divinity. What I'm seeing is that the kessel bone, the bone, big bone that we're sitting on, creating like this, the structure like this. This is the bone. Okay, I'm looking from underneath my legs, and the spine will look something like this. Okay, like how many? 33. So what he saw what he saw: an egg, a house, a container, a vessel, a kli. And this is what? The direct light from the divinity up the ladder of Jacob, the vav, the tzinor, the pipeline, the connection, something that bringing abundance of wisdom, what I'm receiving through my reality, and this is how I behave back. This is my response. Trigger and response. The trigger is Adonai. It's the gate of the sky. It's the vision that's being broadcast to you especially here and now. And my response is this. So we know all over Europe they build mosques in this form. The dome and the tower. The phallic and the womb. The light from above with the container from the down to make a reunion in the physicality, in the astral level, in the mental level, whatever it is. So he saw these 33 pieces, like parts of the spine. And this is why 33 is so known from Freemasonry, because this is the way for Illuminati. This is the way for what Yaakov is saying in the verse. He's using the word He's saying like that he got like ויפגע במקום ההוא, it's like he have an illumination, a vision. So this is the reason for the vision, this vessel, the Kessel, which now Kessel give me to Kislev. Kessel is hope, tikva. Hope that things will be better. If I'm fixing my malchut, my physical awareness, my will to receive to myself, my isav in myself, when I have the hope in the end and the beginning of the year, which is Kislev. Why Kislev considered to be the end at the beginning of the year? Not the official one. Rosh Hashanah is the official one. But we know that in Rosh Hashanah they're saying to us, everything will be sealed until Kislev. So Kislev is now. Kislev is Moed Bet, it's the second test. The hope that even though we failed, we were already deep in the beginning of the year. All of the promises that we made on our list on Rosh Hashanah, where we cried and said, Hashem Bagadnu, we already started the reality. What we found? Exactly like last year. Same challenges, same triggers, and same response, and same behavior. We didn't evolve. So now in Kislev, the hope is that we are getting a second chance. And the second chance to evolve is to see this Kisla, this, like to open our hearts and our pockets, Kislev. Kiss, pocket, lev, to open it. And to see this, opportunity to rise again to our real potential of our higher self that is an image in the higher worlds. For example, just for an example, and I'm throwing it as an idea. Let's say that in the higher worlds, they sing you, the angels, with the beard. They come in here, they don't see the beard. They need now to give you a gift, to shake you, to get into a reality that you will have a beard for your own self-higher manifestation of who you really authentically are. When we're looking in a TV series like Survivor, and the candidates after 10 days, they all have beards. It's changing their personality, it's changing the dynamic. Something in the beard is giving a present of your real higher self, putting the mask, putting the rejections, giving you the opportunity to get out more of yourself and to be really more authentic who you are, really here and now, and not your fake version. So when the angels coming and they sing you as the fake version, I'm taking it now to the relationship of you and your son. You're a genius in math, your son have a problem with math. You love your son. You want him to be genius in math exactly like you. You want him to play in piano exactly like you. What are you going to do from love? You're going to kill him. You're going to train him. You're going to destroy him until he will know math and play the piano in the level that you want it for him because you love him. That's how God loves us. If he knows, and not that I'm saying it for myself, I'm saying it from understanding the Torah. If God knows that your potential is, for example, like the 100%, and the angels coming and seeing what is the stamina, what is the potential of this person, is 13%. What are you going to get from love? Esther. Even harder situations.
More challenging.
A lot of people saying that when they saw God in their life and they started to strengthen themselves, in the beginning everything clicked and they had what we called orot. They had like lights. Everything worked. When they entered into the real walk, which is in every walk, the commitment, the continuation, the overreach the gaps, to deal with the hardship and to push where it's really hard, when it's really starting to get hard.
They finished the honeymoon.
Yeah, when the honeymoon is over, when the walk is really start, a lot of people withdrawing without even understanding that they're withdrawing. Why? Because they don't have this agenda of knowing how to do the balance. Jacob was born from Avraham and Yitzchak. Is like and then even in Israel itself, even in Jacob itself, we know that he changed his name from Jacob to Israel. So what Yaakov stands, it's standing in Hasidut, it's called a little brain. In Hebrew, it's called mochin de katnut. What is a little brain? Little brain is when you're getting the trigger, your response is limited to leave the engagement in agony, because you are not prepared yet to contain and digest and lead the situation into more harmony and love. So you need to grow, not the people who is shouting that you need to grow. You need to grow. And you need to thank them that they helped you to grow. Now, what is Israel means? Israel means big brain. Mochin de Gadlut. What is Mochin de Gadlut? That maybe we will finish here, unless anyone wants to talk. Mochin de Gadlut, in Hasidut, big brain, it's where, when the trigger is coming, and you're trying to do the response from an awareness, that it's not here about, he pushed me, I pushed him. It's here, I'm coming to get a high message. Where is God? Here is God. And this is the sky to the heaven. And then you're coming and you're applying this understanding that when you're waking from the dream, from the honeymoon, and you're starting the walk, and the hardship is coming, and you're tweaking it, you're tuning it, that every escalation, you're applying humbleness, and you're applying resistance, and persevere, and resilience. And you're not giving your second cheek for another slap, but you sometimes need to take slaps as well. So to find the balance, where do I give and where do I take? Where do I influence and where do I receive? And what is the main idea? To receive in order to give. That's the fixation, the tikkun. What Esav wants, I want just to receive everything, with no breaks. What Jacob is suggesting, Jacob suggesting there is something to learn from Esav. I need to learn from Esav to be the tricky, cheaty analyst. I need a little bit to evolve from my innocent, almost idiotic. I just need a book in a tent, and I'm fine. The world is a glory, while Esav is having castles and building cathedrals on the most beautiful mountain of Switzerland, and all the gold in the world is under his banks. Esav. Now, these two dualities of world, of the Judeo-Hebrew civilization of just context and text and books, culture, spirit, idishea geschmackt, versus metals and iron and war and politics and fight and ego and emptiness and entertainment and vitality and exhausted and over drugs and overused and death and next generation come. Who is ruling the world? Who is the dominant? So last week, number 6, Toldot, we learned this duality between Jacob and Esav in our soul. Now we are learning that the seventh place, the Malchut, is here and now. We need to change our triggers and our response into the middle path, which is the balance, which is the right judgment between the strengths and the mercy, between Chesed and Gevura, between right hand to our left hand, and to make something that it doesn't exist. The middle path doesn't exist. It's an hologram, because in nature we always have just plus and minus, cold and warm, male and women. But even between male and a woman, between this plus and minus, we have what I'm calling the third person. It's the dynamic that being created from the engagement, from this particular engagement of them. There were only couple in the world that could create this dynamic, that he's taking out of her something, she's taking out of him something, and they have work. Like, let's say 70% is smooth and perfect, the 30% where there are crashes, this is where your trainer, your wife is your trainer, she came to teach you a lesson that you need to find, you need to find what is the hidden things that, why she's behaving like this. So she's helping you to grow. And she's seeing your faults. So she knows exactly, she's the best teacher. Does anyone wants to add something, or you want to finish here?
I think the concept of receiving, I always believed that Kabbalah meant to receive, like a receipt.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was really interested in how you talked about the reason why you receive is to give. I think that's a fantastic concept.
Look,
Can you broaden that?
It's very interesting what you said, because Kabbalah, the word Kabbalah, what is it? It's receiving.
Yeah.
So the entire wisdom code, the entire wisdom is how to receive. So you're asking Henry, what is the connection between receiving and giving? Like, what is the game here?
No, it's the connection. It's not the difference. There is no difference. They're part of the same thing. But in order to receive, to get the benefit from receiving, you have to know how to give.
Correct.
But before you can give, you have to receive.
Correct.
And in order to receive, you have to be in a place.
Correct.
You have to be in a place where you're receptive.
Correct.
Right? If you're just in a world of mishmash and crazy and
Correct.
Nothing's going on, I mean a lot is going on, but you're not really connected.
Yes.
Then you will not be receptive.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And that's why you've got to meditate and pray and do all that to get the rays of sun, the rays of God.
Yeah. Look, to answer is to say that what we are learning in the Torah is how to develop what I call a vessel. It's not me, it's written in the Kabbalah, it's a vessel. A vessel in Hebrew, it's kli. Kli, it's a toolbox. It's like you need to go with a physical toolbox in the physical world and expand your toolbox and expand your offering, expand your skills to create a flow of energy where you receive all the skills and the knowledge to coordinate. And then when you're coming to give, you're taking all of the skills that you collected to yourself. And from all of the skills that you collected, you're creating a beautiful middle path of a harmony between a lot of people. So you took all of your generosity, all of the things that you received to yourself, and you inspired a bigger spark in a big chunk of people to create good. So you are allowed, according to Kabbalah, to receive as much as you want, as far as your intention, just your intention, is to create the greater good. So someone who's just receiving just for himself is in the mochin de katnut, the little brain. Jacob, the jump in this parashat to Israel, to straight to God, to go through up in our trigger, it's when we are fixing and attuning and collecting a lot of skills and knowledge and efforts and good intention. It's just the intention that changed the entire matter. If you're taking a line, and like an arrow, and you're changing the direction of the arrow like this or like this, you're changing the entire flow. So this is the intention. The intention is, it's the yarmulke, it's the kippah. The body is the body, but the kippah is making everything like with the stamp of kosher salt. This is good. All what you do is under the umbrella of good, and you recruiting all of your receiving gifts. You're making the right balance between all of them, and you're making an influence. Like, let's say that now you care about the poverty in the world. It's really bothering you, and you're finding out that you need 2.4 million for your first phase of your program. You're finding the founders, you're showing the plan, you're collecting the money. Some people are willing to pay the money. You're making it. So you receive $2.4 million to fix a huge problem in the world. If this is the level that you're trying to fix, so there is a place, there is a God in this place, and this is the sky to the heaven. Where is the sky to the heaven? Where is the jackpot? Where I'm collecting all of my skills and my faults together, making an order, and doing harmony and union and love and peace and building and creating and influencing and making more people balance in their middle path, other fellow Jews, that they don't fight with each other. They are helping each other to make a greater good with all of their skills into order to make like the Temple Mount back in our hearts, because he was watching on the Temple Mount. The letter in the middle was in the Temple Mount. The heart is the Temple Mount. What happened in the Temple Mount? How this mountain of Moriah was elected to be the manifestation of the God divinity in this world. The legend is telling us, and I'll finish with this, about two brothers, one rich and one poor. The rich guy had a lot of kids. So the poor brother thought that his brother had a lot of kids and would not have enough money to finish the year, so he brought all of his food to his brother. and the brother another night did the same for him. And in the end, by mistake, they met in the same place where they're giving the food in a secret way to each other. They met and they hugged. And this hug of the place where the hidden recessive, not the dominant, the recessive inner personality meeting with the other inner personality, the personality that we don't see, not our Esav, not our outside, our inside wants to bestow, and is meeting another inside that wants to bestow. This is the Temple Mount. This is the middle point. This is the breakthrough. This is the Tiferet Sephirah. This is the balance, the Zeir Anpin. This is the Chesed Gvura Tiferet. This is the fixation of the heart. This is where all the hearts is being one big heart. When all the pockets of everyone, when all, we're saying, you talk where your money goes. So our pockets, our bestow, our capacity to give, kiss, our pocket is combined with our lev together as a one heart. We're meeting each other at the mountain, and we are giving you because we care about you more than we care about us. This is the big hope of the second test, the second Moed Bet that we're having now in Kislev, to go for the next level of the year with the strength of Chanukah, of the divinity, of giving the light on the menorah of the neshama, of all the hearts together for this breakthrough to happen.
So the point that I think you made was about the Temple Mount being the center, and it's also the spark. According to all prophecy, it is the place where there will be the clash, where there will be a Armageddon, because the Arab world, Muslim world, takes ownership, and the Jews, of course, have their own ownership of it. And we have everything that has happened, all the conflicts have all centered, especially recently, on the Temple Mount.
You touched a rabbit hole. How deep you want me to go through this rabbit hole?
How much time?
I'll make things short. I'll finish with this.
But I want to get.
I have a whole lesson on YouTube on my channel. This is my most popular lesson on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's called Even Ashtiyah, the foundation stone in Arabite. Explanation.
That's the place.
Now, what is happening there? The stone, like a ancient Egyptian pyramid, when they wanted to seal the chamber of the king with all the treasure, they put a huge stone that no one can move in order to seal. So there is a huge stone exactly in the Temple Mount, in the pupik. You know what is the pupik? How do you say pupik in English?
In the belly button.
In the belly button. If you're looking on the human being, the middle is the belly button. This stone is the belly button that's sitting on the abundance of nevuah, of prophecy. If this stone will be removed, there will be abundance of foundation of life, Mayana Gichon, that will have the energy to make the false river from Jerusalem to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea symbolizes the will to receive, because it's the level of the 10th of the Malchut, which have no place for life. This river will be able to fix it. How? Because Nevuah nitna leshotim. Prophecy became to the idiots. Now, you need to be an idiot to do middle path, because everyone running to the right and the left, just the weirdos doing the middle. You need to balance, you need to find the right balance, right? To make a middle path. Now, you can be a judge of yourself on the middle path. You can be a wise man of yourself. But there is another level, the prophet of yourself. Now, what is prophecy? Prophecy is the ability to look on a dream or a vision and to see from the allegoric symbols of the vision the real message to the near future or to the end future. Depends on the level of the prophecy. Now, if this belly button will be open from the Temple Mount, and this river will come, Mayana Gichon, and you will drink from it, your body will be healed, and you can now prophesize. So what is the meaning of prophesize? Prophesize means that there are no breaks on your egoistic brain anymore. Your heart can expand to the next level, to the fifth dimension of interconnect with other hearts for the redemption of union and love and harmony in a different level. That everyone's helping each other. From now on, the pyramid of power is flipping completely. Until now, the peasants are down, the professionals on the top taxing them, the politicians above them not accountable to the work and sitting on the professionals with their standards to kill the peasants, above them the royal of the king, and the king, they are not accountable for a thing, and all the land is there. Now, when you're flipping the pyramid, when you're giving knowledge for everyone to emphasize their heart to the higher capacity, you're giving them prophecy. Little kids will walk in the streets and they will know all the Torah. All what I'm saying here on to bestow, to receive, if I'll go now to a kid, he will not even understand what I'm talking about. Imagine they will get a gift. Nevuah, built in. Remember this scene from The Matrix when she doesn't know how to ride a bike and she's just uploading or loading a diskette in 8 seconds, she's learning how to do tricks on a bike. Imagine that you can do it not in 8 seconds, but you can do it in one shine of light. One drink of this river. You're healthy.
How many happy with 8 seconds?
You are healthy in your body and you're healthy in your mind, so you're a vessel for prophesying, and this is the redemption, a quantum leap of understanding. Even now, it's starting to happen as a process because we had until age 20, 30 in access to internet, but the generations today, they're growing as a milk into it from age 0. So they are, when they are 10 and 15, they know more information than we knew when we were 20. The level, the richness and the depthness of the information that they know now, so what they are more evolved. Sons, insights, tovanot, they are the next level of us with the zets.
No.
I
don't think that's the case. I think they have access to more information, but
there is more blur, with it.
Between information and knowledge,
I agree.
pretty vast.
But still, it's better to be exposed to more light than...
Absolutely.
He's right, because they have access to more fake news.
Yeah.
It can also confuse you, it can also blur everything because
Absolutely.
with the fake news and with an overabundance of information, there's too much information, it can boggle your brain. That's what happens to me. I just take it all in and then it just goes.
And that is where you need the skills of critical thinking, and that's what they are not taught.
Not true.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mainly there's a big gap between the ability to apply this knowledge, to be able to, you've got access to all this knowledge, but how do you actually applying it and how you bring it to a positive practice?
There is another one I wanted to show you. We said that this trigger and response is to go from Beersheba to Haran. So when I'm taking Haran, the numeric value is 256. 58. Yes? Now, when we're looking on the word Garon, which is this vessel, the pipe, we talked about the middle path in the body.
Yeah.
This path between the head to the heart, between the brain to the heart, it's where all the work is happening. Wow. What do I say outside of my mouth? Because how do I control the situation? With my manifestation. This is my kingdom, how I rule with my mouth. I'm ordering, commanding. So how much is the value of Leo? So we know that Haran, Ima Kolel, with itself, it's Garon. So when Jacob is going from Beersheba, from paradise, to Haran, to the place of hardship, it's why? Because everyone here with their throat, they're not happy by themselves, or they're yelling at you, or throwing at you. Why you didn't fill this Excel? Why didn't you wash the... They're not happy. Now, they're your teacher, and you need to change the trigger, the response to the trigger. That's the... Anyone wants to say something? Or to Moti?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're over it. That's fantastic. Thank you for... You can say thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Must be.
We want to thank you.
Thank you.
Moreno ורבנו.
חבל שלא, pity wasn't there more people.
Now we can start the Hebrew lesson.
בדיוק.
Now
עכשיו
we've got it
בוא
on.
נתחיל את המציאות.
כן.
His English,
עד עכשיו זה היה
was
הזיה.
excellent.
Yeah,
Your English was...
Thank you. First time ever I'm
You
teaching
only
English.
made one mistake.
Yeah.
I forgot.
First time, it's my first time ever in English. It's my first time ever in
Now
English.
go on. What was it? There was
Yeah?
one word.
He said didn't sow. You can't say didn't sow. It's didn't see.
Didn't see.
Yeah. He added the start and I don't know, but I'm not getting into English right now.
English is not my mother tongue, will never be.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Xavier.
Pleasure.
You got something else to say? Too late.
No, Baruch Hashem.
Leo is off the record.
בדיוק.
That's now the item of off the record.
No, that was fantastic. It was really good.
Did you take something? Did you take something from it? Or?
Yeah, always. Yeah, I'm very receptive.
Henry is filming all the Jewry activities in town for many years, like a real museum.
This will go into the annals.
In 100 years from now,
it's going to go into the annals.
in 100 years from now, the Jewish museum here will value the work that he's doing right now. Now he's not valued enough, not supported.
My archive will be worth money one day.
And also I think that they will have 3D holograms of Aviad like in 100 years, you know, they will film your move that will be like really, you know.
But seriously, Henry, it's a heritage. You're actually living, you're capturing lots of heritage and leaving something for their generation to take on board.
Henry, thanks for coming.
I told you I'd come. I keep my word. When I say I'll do something.
They're only disappointed that it was empty tonight, but usually we have 10.
Okay.
We have 10 people. We just announced very short time before the meeting.
But this is really important.
No, it's the idea.
So who's going to be your future guest?
I've got lots of people lined up already, but I haven't done. I did 2 segments with Mark Liebler today. I have to decide what number 3 will be because every week the show is in three parts.
3 guests, yeah.
No, 3 parts.
3 parts.
Sometimes I had Avi Yemini on recently. 3 segments. I had him on for the whole show. We didn't even touch the surface, and I had nearly 18,000 views on YouTube, which is more than I have ever had on one.
You know how many
guest.
followers he has?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of followers.
I know.
I just on my way tonight, on my way back from the supermarket around 7:30, I listened on AM radio and they were talking about, you know, completely Australians, nothing to do with Judaism. We're talking about that Daniel Andrews, Aman Arasha, came and spoke, did a press conference, I think it was today, and he threw out Avi Yemini. From the Paris phone, without him even saying hello, you know?
Yeah, no, he's got an eye out for Avi. When he turns up to the protests, the police say you can go now, and they say if you don't go, we'll take you. I don't know why.
They should go with the lawyer.
The discussion.
When he goes to a demonstration, he needs to go with the lawyer.
He's got a security guy. Have you seen his security guy?
Yeah.
Got a guy like this huge Daniel.
But